When Prince died in 2016, fans were left heartbroken. But they never knew the full story. Now, after years of silence, his former Paisley Park assistant has finally broken her silence. And what she reveals is shocking. Inside those purple walls was a world ruled by obsession, paranoia, and genius pushed to the edge. She saw it all: the chaos, the control, the secrets Prince never wanted out. This isn't just a tribute, it's a revelation. And once you hear the truth, you'll never see Prince the same way again. Before he was a global superstar, Prince was just a kid fighting demons, and not the metaphorical kind. He was born epileptic, and seizures plagued his early years. He was bullied for it, teased. His self-esteem took a hit so early, it shaped everything he would become. In a rare interview, Prince once recalled telling his mother, "I'm not going to be sick anymore." When she asked why, he said, "Because an angel told me so." Whether or not it was divine intervention, his seizures stopped. But the damage stayed with him. To fight back, he created a persona. Loud, flashy, impossible to ignore. The prince the world knew was armor for the boy who never wanted to feel weak again. But fame didn't save him. It only raised the stakes. As his star rose, so did the pressure. He feuded with Warner Brothers, his record label, over control of his music. In protest, he changed his name to an unpronounceable glyph and famously appeared with the word slave written on his face. He claimed it was about transformation, a spiritual calling. But deep down, it was about ownership, about breaking chains that had followed him his entire life. Even after escaping Warner Brothers, Prince's battles didn't stop. His pain became physical. Years of dancing and performing in heels had taken a toll. He suffered from chronic hip pain and eventually underwent surgery. But even after that, the pain never left. And neither did the pills. Percocet was prescribed. But for Prince, it became more than relief. It became a crutch. One he never admitted he leaned on, even as those closest to him begged him to get help. One of those people was his ex-wife. She caught him using painkillers multiple times. But like many who suffer in silence, Prince didn't believe he had a problem. He thought he could control it, like he controlled everything else. But inside Paisley Park, the truth was unraveling. Karen Kranger was one of the few people who saw it all. As Prince's personal assistant, she was more than just support staff. She was his gatekeeper, his confidant, his fixer. She managed everything, from last-minute parties with 200 guests to sourcing rare, vintage boots in under 12 hours. Her phone was never off. Sleep was a luxury she didn't have. Inside Paisley Park, there were no standard rules. Everything operated by Prince's command. Surveillance cameras tracked movements. Entry points were restricted, and silence was sacred. Karen was expected to do everything, perfectly, immediately, invisibly. She once said, "He never yelled." But his silence was worse. If something wasn't right, the flowers weren't purple enough, the hallway light too dim, she would feel the freeze. He'd go silent for days, or forever. And yet, she stayed, because she saw something no one else did. Prince didn't just demand perfection, he created worlds. His parties were legendary. White masquerades, impromptu jam sessions, 1,000 roses floating in pools. But once the lights faded and the music stopped, it was Karen who cleaned up the aftermath. Passed out guests, trashed studios, broken instruments. Prince created magic, then disappeared. Everyone else handled the consequences. And still, no matter how much she gave, the pressure never eased. Prince trusted no one completely. Even Karen, who had been by his side through it all, was tested. He'd give conflicting instructions to staff just to see who would come back and report. Loyalty wasn't earned, It was extracted. His paranoia ran deep. Every call, every meeting, even how money was spent. Prince had eyes on it all. And the more success he had, the more isolated he became. To outsiders, he was a mysterious genius. But inside those walls, he was often alone, wandering the halls late at night, listening to unfinished tracks, asking Karen to sit in silence, no instructions, just presence. Then came April 2016. After performing 2 shows, Prince boarded a private jet back to Minnesota. On board were his close friend Kirk Johnson and his protégé Judith Hill. Mid-flight, Prince collapsed. The plane made an emergency landing. He had overdosed. Paramedics revived him with Narcan. At the hospital, he refused more treatment. He told doctors he was fine. He told his friends, "I know my body." But he wasn't fine. He was spiraling. Days later, he was found unresponsive inside Paisley Park. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The autopsy confirmed it. Fentanyl, a synthetic opioid, 50 times more powerful than heroin, had ended his life. The pills were fake, counterfeit, labeled as simple pain relievers. But they were laced with poison. To this day, no one knows who gave him the pills. No one has been charged. And Prince? He's gone. After his death, Karen stayed silent. But eventually, she spoke. And people weren't ready for what she had to say. She released never-before-seen photos, personal notes Prince had left her, candid moments from behind the curtain. Some fans called her a sellout, a traitor. But Karen insisted she wasn't chasing clout. She was preserving history. "These were my memories," she said. "I didn't sell secrets. I told the truth." Among the most powerful revelations, the loneliness, the burden Prince carried. Not just the fame, but the expectation, the control, the silence. And despite everything she shared, Karen admitted there were still stories she'd never tell. Not because she was scared, but because they weren't hers to tell. "Some truths," she said, "will die with her." Karen said it best. "He wasn't perfect, but he trusted me. And that means something." Prince gave the world beauty, mystery, and unforgettable music. But behind the curtain was a man in pain. A man fighting demons that never left. A man who trusted almost no one, but still asked for someone to just sit beside him in the dark. And maybe that's the real story. Not how Prince died, but how he lived. Prince was a legend, but behind the music was a man haunted by pain and secrecy. If this story moved you, like, share, and subscribe for more untold truths behind the icons you thought you knew. Stay curious. Thanks for watching.